Welcome, everybody, to studio number 5ALIVE. We are now ready to start the show. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for coming tonight. And we have some amazing talent for you this evening. We are just going to get off and start this show with a bang right now. So, we have, first off, Caitlin Hawkins. And here she is, right here. We're going to have a little chat with her first, though. So,
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
good. So, I just have a couple questions before we get to hear your talent. So, you're going to be singing for us this evening.
Yes, I am.
And what are you going to be singing?
I'm going to be singing A New Day Has Come by Celine Dion.
Very nice. Okay. What is something that has made you so that you are interested in singing, and what got you started in it?
Well, I always have loved music. I guess you could say that I've always been singing since I was younger. I got into dance pretty heavily growing up, and then I also got into theater as well. And I started singing more when I was probably in junior high school.
Okay.
But something that I really love about it is it's a really natural way to express your feelings and emotions. I think easier than maybe other ways might be. Mm-hmm. And I love to see how people just benefit from the art or the craft that you've created or that you're a part of.
Do you have any experiences or anything that has happened when you were singing a song maybe, or?
You know, a lot of what I've noticed lately is it's actually just helped other people become more inspired to do what it is that they love. It might be music, or it might be, I don't know, just anything that they have going on that they love, and it just inspires them that much more to know that if someone else is going after something that they love to do, then they can do the same thing.
Nice. So where do you hope to go with this? Where are you trying to take this singing career?
I would love to sing professionally full time.
Okay. So
And
what,
travel.
like Vegas show or?
Probably not Vegas.
Celine Dion has one. Come on.
Yeah, okay, maybe I'm thinking of a different type of Vegas.
The showgirls, you know.
Yeah, no. No, thank you. I would love to travel to different countries and sing and perform there and go on tour, and that type of a, I guess, way of performing.
Okay, great. Well, so now we're going to hear from Caitlin Hawkins and Corey Thompson on guitar.
For a miracle to come.
have Benjamin Rivera. Have you ever done this before? Is this your first time ever?
To do something live like this, yeah. Yeah. Just got back from Laughlin from a national karaoke contest, which I did pretty bad. But still had a great time. Friends and everything else was just amazing. So.
And
it was awesome.
is your
Yeah,
grandma
must
calling
be,
you right now?
Must be my sister calling me.
I'm going to let him answer it.
No, I think she needs to. There we go.
So you've been in bands before. You've sang.
Yeah. I did some stuff here in Utah. We were called Salty Funk. We had an 8-piece funk band. We used to play a lot at Port of Call, up in Park City, Montego Bay when they used to have music there. And so now I'm kind of starting it up, and I found a great guitar player here that I can start collaborating with, do some more original stuff, and he's kind of on the same vibe. It's hard to find somebody that really likes to do funk music with live horns and a live band.
Nice.
And yeah, so that's what but I like to sing pretty much everything, except for country.
Except for country?
Yeah.
I sing country, so.
No, I love country, but I just don't sing it.
Okay. Do you have anything that inspires you to sing, or what inspired you?
Geez, I was like 16 when I first played at the Whiskey A Go-Go on Sunset. With friends kind of got together and we started playing, and that was a long time ago. And I'm getting older now, and I still love playing music, and that's still a passion, and you just can't let it go.
Not something you could just
No,
put
you
down
just
and
can't,
stick in a corner.
No, it doesn't matter how old you are. There's an artist by the name of Jimmy Scott. He's an older gentleman. He's in his 70s, and he didn't get back to singing again until he was 60. So it's never late. It's never late.
I think that's one of the greatest messages ever. Just like it's never too late if you're.
The passion's there.
Yeah, just
go.
go.
For it. Yeah.
Just go and do it.
Yeah.
Well, so what are you going to sing for us?
I'm doing a couple cover songs.
Okay.
A police song and a Journey song. Just kind of have fun with it, and hopefully everybody can enjoy it.
Okay.
This number next is, you guys know it, it's a Journey called Lights. When the lights go down in the city and the sun shines on the bay, ooh, I wanna be there, yeah, in my city. Oh, so you think you're lonely? Well, my friends, I'm lonely too. I wanna get back to the city by the bay, yeah. Whoa, whoa, whoa. It's sad
is Boris Vladimir Dimitrovic Godunov. Sometimes friends at work call me BVD is bad enough. I don't know why, but I'm here to share with you idea how to deal with mother-in-law. Everybody has one, right? Sometimes it's a difficult person. You have no idea, okay? I tell you what happened. This was 25 years ago in old country. Wife is feeling lonely, so she called mother, come visit me. So after 3 weeks, I'm ready to just finish everything, okay? Time for mother-in-law to go home. No money for gasoline and no gasoline to buy for vehicles, so I have to take her home in mountain on donkey. I am getting donkey ready. She's saying goodbye to mother, and I have idea. I now want to talk to this woman. She complained about everything, and everything become argument with her. So I want to put some distance. I have idea. So she's saying goodbye. I am talking to donkey like angry, getting everything ready. Held mother-in-law on top. I said goodbye to wife. We go walking up a mountain. 20 minutes later, donkey trip. I look at donkey. For you is first warning. She look at me like, what is this? Not say anything. We go walking again. We continue up mountain. 20 minutes later, donkey trip again. I look at donkey. For you is second warning. She look at me like I'm crazy. We go on. 20 minutes later, you guessed, donkey trip again. This time, I take a macro 725 and KGB style to base of donkey skull, and donkey drop. She get up. Боже мой! What you did? Poor animal of God, what he did to you? I look at mother-in-law. For you is first warning.
So tonight, I actually just wanted to share a story with you guys about a little boating adventure in the Bahamas a few years ago. I was, for the first time in a long time, I was actually sleeping pretty soundly the night that we had our accident. The first thing I remember is basically getting thrown out of my bunk, slamming against the other wall, and getting thrown right back into my bunk because the boat had shifted so violently to the side and then righted itself. First thing I remember hearing was metal scraping across the rocks. I heard the wooden beams of the hull bowing, bending, breaking, and I heard the other two crew members just shouting in a language other than English, just some confused questions. When we finally came to a stop, I heard water spraying in from everywhere, and the first thought that entered my mind was I have to find John. John was the 89-year-old father of Captain Martine, and he usually slept in the bunk just across from me. It was pitch black. I was yelling his name. I was trying to feel my way through the darkness, but nothing was where it should be in the cabin, and no answer. I finally made my way to the door. I was able to peek into the next room, and my heart dropped. I saw in the corner just this tangled pile of arms and legs and some debris. I made my way up to him. I was terrified. John. What? Apparently, John had slept through the entire thing. He was unscathed. Like me, John had drank way too much of the captain's crappy red wine the night before, and on his way back to the bunk, he actually decided to just pass out on a bunch of fish netting, and that was, I guess, a lucky choice at that time. So this was all October of 1993. We're actually coming up on the 20th anniversary of this thing. That was also the year that I graduated from college, and that was the year that I said goodbye to my best friend since forever, Kyle. Kyle and I started out in second grade. It was meant to be. We were the only two kids in school that actually had toy lightsabers at that time. So, you know, peas and carrots right there. We trained to be Jedi Knights for the next few years, and once we got a little older, we trained for football. We both got football scholarships to the same college, and we both lost them sometime around their sophomore year because we partied way too much. By the time I graduated, I'd gone home to visit my family for a little while, and Kyle was still there finishing up his last course in the first summer session. And then we were supposed to go to the Bahamas together to celebrate. And that's when I got a call from Kyle's dad that he had overdosed and died on our kitchen floor. I rushed back to school, I cleaned out the apartment. And for the most part, at that time, my drinking had pretty much spiraled out of control as well. And I just pretty much felt like I wanted to die. My mother, on the other hand, had expressly prohibited suicide. So I decided I was just going to go ahead with my trip to the Bahamas, and with a twist that I would get a job on a small fishing boat that's operating in the Bermuda Triangle during hurricane season. So I figured that's a pretty good compromise, kind of a loophole in my mother's policy there. So there we were. We got ourselves off the boat, we got ourselves to shore, rendezvoused with the rest of the crew, kind of took stock of the situation while we waited for the sun to come up. Captain Martin was pretty well unhurt. He had kind of a nasty gash on his forehead, maybe a concussion, but nothing too serious. One of the crew members most likely had a broken ankle, and the other one most definitely had a broken collarbone. So there we were. The sun came up. We shot off the flares that we had. We tried to use the radio. Couldn't get the radio to work. And at daylight, the captain decided that he was going to go for help. He had been on this island once before, and he knew that about 25 miles away was Matthewtown, which was the only settlement on the entire island. I think I surprised us both when I spoke up and said that I would do it. A little bit of a discussion, but I'm the captain. Yes, you're the captain, you're supposed to stay with the ship. But it's my responsibility. Dude. During those years, I had to preface anything serious with dude. Dude, no offense, but you're old, and you have a family. I'm younger, I'm stronger, I'm faster, and I'm expendable. So the next thing I knew, I had my supplies, which consisted of about half a gallon of water, a bag of peanuts, and some multivitamins that my mom insisted I take along on the trip. Everything else was pretty much buried underwater. I was wearing what I had on when we had the wreck, long sleeve button-down shirt, my boxer shorts, and the ultimate fashion faux pas to try to prevent blisters, socks and sandals. So there I went, and I was determined to save the day. There's not much to tell, during this long walk, other than it was just a terribly long walk around the beach in the blazing sun. I had found this hard hat. The beach was littered with debris, so I put the hard hat on backwards to try to protect my head and my neck from the sun, and I just felt like I walked forever. My water ran out pretty quickly. I really lost track of how far I had gone, and I just tried to keep a positive attitude, but at some point, the physical strain sets in, and I started fading pretty fast. This realization started setting in that even though people are depending on me, that I may not make it. There were all these points on the island, and they were separated by these large coves, so I had to walk much further than I wanted to get from point to point. And by the time that those positive thoughts started getting replaced with panic, I just had willed Matthewtown to be around the next point. I pretty much devoted everything I had physically and emotionally to the fact that when I got there, I was going to see civilization. And when I got there and there was no civilization, I didn't have anything left. I fell on my face in the sand, and I cried. I cried because I was 24, and I hadn't done a damn thing with my life. I cried for Kyle. I wondered, when he got that last fix, if he had any idea that something was going wrong, if he saw his death before him like I saw mine. And I wondered if he was brave, because I was scared to death, to be quite honest. But that wave passed, and now I'm laying here trying think of, is there anything else I can do? There had been this idea in the back of my mind all day that every time it came into my mind, I shoved it right back out again. I'd read this in some outdoor magazine about how you can survive in these situations a little bit longer by drinking your own pee. And for lack of anything better, that thought finally started to take root. I knew people were depending on me, and what else could I do? It was a matter of completely giving up or giving it a shot and maybe living to tell some messed up story about it someday. So I took off the hard hat, I pulled all the nasty rotted webbing out of it, and I basically unleashed a bladder full of brown, vitamin-enriched, steaming urine into this bowl. I don't know if you've ever tried to drink from a punch bowl or not, but it's not an entirely efficient process. So it was a horror show. It was streaming out of the corners of my mouth, staining my white shirt. But after that first wave of nausea, I felt great. It did what it was supposed to do. So I made this calculation. Worst case scenario, I'd come 15 miles, and I had another 5 or 10 to go. But I drank my own pee. I manned up, and I had what it took to survive. So I didn't care if it was 50 miles. I was going to make it. 10 minutes later, I was rescued. There was a group of biologists that were out banding turtles, and they weren't even supposed to be out that day, but thank goodness. Because when I got on the boat, I found out that the captain had misjudged the distance. That I had actually traveled 30 miles, and Matthewtown was another 25 miles away. So they get me to the Coast Guard station. I tell them the story. I try to get a rescue out, for the rest of the crew. They gave me a shower. They gave me this shirt. And they gave me a sandwich, just 2 stale pieces of bread, bologna, mustard, and it was the best sandwich I'd ever tasted. So they radio in, the ship is wrecked, we got to get the captain, we got to pick up the crew. And just a few minutes later, they get a response that we've picked these guys up. Apparently about an hour after I left, the captain went back, fixed the radio. They had been safe for hours. So I got shipwrecked, I drank my own pee, I walked 30 miles in the blazing sun, and all I got was this lousy t-shirt. But every year about this time, I put this shirt on, and I get out the scrapbook that Kyle's mom had given me after the funeral. I sit down, I pour Kyle a shot, I pour myself a double, and I sit there and I just take stock in the last few years. I was never able to be a Jedi Knight. I never got the football championship. I've never been a hero. I couldn't save Kyle. I didn't get to save the captain and his crew. But then I take those shots, I pour them back in the bottle and put the bottle away because I haven't touched a drop in 20 years. And I realize that at least I saved myself. And I guess that's got to count for something.
I knew I was geared for music at an early age. I remember hearing things on the radio and being able to recite them. And the other thing is, I remember being very heavily and emotionally impacted by things I was hearing on the radio, different music. I remember seeing colors, when I'd hear certain pieces and whatnot. So I felt, like a very deep emotion from it. So it was something, that was kind of a blessing once I received an instrument, my first instrument. It was just, I thought, yep, this is what I'm supposed to be.
Do you remember
doing.
what instrument that was?
Yeah, it was a little 3/4 size classical guitar, and it was just fun. And I remember going through the pain and of getting the calluses and whatnot, and going through my first lessons and whatnot, because that wasn't fun. Just like for any kid that starts off music, it's like having to practice. You're like, oh God, I really
But it's
gotta
worth
start
it if they
playing."
stick with it, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes? Is it worth it, everybody?
Yeah, when you're older, you can look back and say, yeah, it's worth it. But when you're young, you're thinking, oh, I'd rather be playing football, you know?
Yeah.
But I did enjoy it at the time, though. I took enjoyment in the practice, but at the same time, there was times where I was looking out at the other kids playing football and thinking, oh, man, I got to practice.
So, do you have anything that inspires your work, or anything that has maybe kept you from playing guitar? A time in your life that was hard, or anything that music has helped you through any of those times?
Every day of my life. I think, music's that one thing that's like that bright little shiny part in my day. Like if something happens in life, you hit a bump in the road and you're thinking, God, I'm having a hard time dealing with this. It's nice to have that, cathartic, reclusive kind of space that you can go to and, just be alone, sit down with your instrument and make a sound and go, hey, this is, the vibration, the energy that comes from the instrument immediately transforms you and kind of allows you to put yourself into a new mental, emotional state, I think. So for me, I think it's like a Zen thing.
And you compose as well as play for many bands in the Salt Lake Valley.
Yeah, I like to consider myself a composer first and foremost, actually.
And you have a record out?
Yeah, I've got one called Tula Mondance that I released back in 2001 on my record label, Dramatic Productions.
Okay.
I've got 3 more in the works, halfway recorded and ready to be released at some point in time.
Give us a date.
Yeah.
Give us a date right now. We want a day, and then we're gonna
I'm
get
waiting
them
for
back
that
on.
divine inspiration. I'm waiting for that thing to come down and really finish off some of these pieces, because some of them are they're almost there. We're almost there. So for me, it's I used to be very goal-driven, and time-oriented with my composition, but I realize nowadays it's better that I'm happy with it.
Yeah. Was there anywhere that people can go to find your music online?
Currently, yes and no. Facebook. Facebook is the best way to get a hold of me nowadays. Yeah, I used to have my websites up and an e-com site and all that stuff with the label, and I realized Facebook's a much more effective tool for networking with people that are actually truly interested in what you have to do. So for me, it's been a better tool, that is. So.
Nice. Okay, well, we'd love to hear you play.
Okay, well, this is a piece off my album entitled Celtian. Chinese song called Tuning. This is a new piece I'm working on currently. It's going to be on one of my new albums, one of these days, when I get around to getting that performance I'm happy with. So, this is called De-Revolving. title, De-Revolving. Okay. So and now that we're on this whole naming your songs after the keys they're in, this next piece is called Indie Light. It's light sounding and it's in the key of D.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for
Tuno.
inviting me, Sue.
Yes. Hey, and where can we find you if we want to hear you on a regular basis?
That's a good question. I'm always looking for new gigs. But currently I'm at Keys on Main on Wednesday nights. I run the house
It's
band.
fun.
It's a good time. We have a live karaoke show there. That's actually where I met Sue. She used to come in with us. She was one of our star singers. If you haven't heard her sing, by the way, you're missing out. So she's something
I
good.
tapped too.
Yeah.
You might have known that from last week, though, if you watched.
You want to hear her sing. But no, I'm just kidding.
I'm okay, really, it's all right.
It's a good time, and actually, if you sing, come and sit in with us. It's a really good time. You can get up and sing with our house band. I play guitar and bass. We usually have one of our fabulous pianists up accompanying you, and we have a drummer named Brian Bell that will, put some rhythm behind you, and we'll make a bunch of bad jokes, so you'll feel really comfortable up on stage with us. So that's every Wednesday night, 9 o'clock to 1 o'clock, if you want to come down and sit in with us and have a good time.
And you can
It's open to
practice, so then
everyone.
you can come and perform here.
Yeah, you can bring those cover tunes that you've been working out and hopefully get some big muscles on them. So.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
Hey, thank you very much.
So, tell us a little bit about you. Who are you?
I'm Shane. Grew up in Washington. Moved here when I was about 15. I've always been involved in music ever since I was a kid. Started out on piano.
So you play more than guitar? Play piano and
Yeah,
guitar?
I do. I played piano until I was around 13, and then all the cool kids played guitar. So
Or
I
play
switched
football?
no, all the cool kids played guitar. But no, it's always been a passion of mine. I don't know if any other musicians can relate to this. I'm sure they can, but I can see music in the environment. I can see music in the curve of someone. Just anything. I'd be able to put a melody to, and I love it.
Do you have a lot of songs that you've written?
I do. It's kind of a never-ending project, going back and revamping them, and sometimes I have to stop myself from doing that because I'm a perfectionist, and sometimes I just have to let it be. But yeah, I do have quite a few songs. They're kind of depressing. Honestly.
I was gonna say, which one was your favorite?
Oh, yeah.
But they're all depressing, so is that?
Well, I'm working on that. Like, honestly, they're ballads. You guys, you might want to keep some Prozac on you.
Do I want to ask, like, what inspires you for your songs, or?
What inspired? Well, yeah, when I was a kid, I had these braces on my legs, and everyone made fun of me. And then I just, took off across the country running just to forget this girl that kept popping up in my life. I do what I can.
Wonderful.
No, it's the things that inspire me are just people's lives, the story of their lives, and different experiences that have happened in my life. I love writing about the emotion that they go through, and I think what makes my music stand out is just because it's very emotional. I try to connect to the human emotion, and if I can connect with someone who's gone through the kind of thing that I'm writing about, then it's what I live for.
So, what are you going to be singing for us tonight?
I'm going to be singing Billie Jean. It's kind of a bluesy
Which is a very cool version. I've heard it. Very nice.
I'm going to be doing a couple originals. One called Natalie's Song, and Natalie's Song is one of my favorites. It really means a lot to me. When I served the mission, towards the end of my mission, I met this really cool Jamaican girl. She had 2 kids, really friendly. We obviously got the, mission president's permission to teach her because she was a single woman. But we taught her, and she was really genuine. She was just looking for something better in her life. And she had a boyfriend at the time who was a member of one of the Jamaican gangs where I served. And not kind of a sketchy guy. And but she didn't care. I mean, she took everything. The day she was baptized was the happiest day of her life. Tears streaming down her face. And her family, who wasn't members, but they were so happy for her, threw a huge barbecue for her that night. And happiest day of her life. And at about 12:30 that night, her ex-boyfriend came over and shot her and killed her.
Wow.
And that had to be the most inspiration that I've ever had with a song. I wrote that in 20 minutes. How can you not?
Right.
But so I'll be performing that one. Another one called Lady. It's not about anything in particular, but just about.
Is it the one? Lady, you're my knight in shining armor. Okay. Maybe it's not. Okay.
Stick to tap dance.
I'm a really good singer.
Can you?
I did last week.
Well, do it. I want to see it.
Oh,
I want to
well.
see tap dance. Right now.
Okay.
Right. Who wants to see it?
I'm gonna tap dance, and then he's gonna sing right after me. Okay?
I will. I promise. Tap dance first.
Don't pull that table out. You guys ready? I did this last week. This is like a rerun of last week. I can't do
We
anything
don't
else.
care. Tap dance. Dance.
That's.
Woo!
Adam tap dance. Sing!
Okay.
You made me tap dance now in heels.
Ready?
And
Ready?
She was more like a beauty queen from a movie screen. Said don't mind, but what do you mean? I am the one who would dance in the floor in the round. She said I am the one who would dance in the floor in the round. She told me her name was Billie Jean, and she caused a scene. And every head turned with eyes that dreamed of being the one. And we danced in the floor in the round. People always told me, be careful what you do. Don't go around breaking young girls' hearts. Mother always told me, be careful who you love. Be careful what you do, 'cause a lie becomes a truth. Billie Jean is not my lover. She's just a girl who claims that I am the one. But the kid is not my son. She said I am the one, but the kid is not my son. For 40 days and 40 nights, the law is on her side. And who can stand when she's in demand? Her schemes and plans, and we dance on the floor in the round. So take my strong advice. Remember to always think twice. To think twice. She told my baby we danced till 3, and then she looked at me. Showed a photo of my baby cried, his eyes were like mine, and we danced in the floor in the right. People always told me, be careful what you do, don't go around breaking young girls' hearts. She came and stood right by me in the smell of sweet perfume. This happened much too soon, and she called me to a room. Billie Jean is not my lover. She's just a girl who claims that I am the one, but the kid is not my son. She said I am the one, but the kid is not my son. Yeah. Yeah, Billie Jean is not my lover. She's just a girl who claims that I am the one, but the kid is not my son. So take my strong advice. Remember to always think twice. Do think twice. Thank you. How do you do, single mother of two? Did you know the heaven smiling down on you? Your pains-free fine, cut and polish to shine. Give it time, we're born into a world sublime. Dancing the heavens, lost in your sweet euphoria. Lands by the water, embracing relief. How could this be bittersweet tragedy? But you know, portal through a memory. They question why the innocent died. In reply, tears are falling from the sky. Dancing the heavens, lost in your sweet euphoria. You cry for a daughter, comfort to receive. The earth cries for you to leave her, but heaven's wide open to receive you. What could I say? Make the hurt go away, fly away. She's shining at her clothes and make things left undone. It's homeward you run to the sun, forever in the life you won. Dancing the heavens, lost in your sweet euphoria. The tale of a martyr leads me to believe the earth cries for you to leave daughter looks down on me. The earth cries for you to leave her, but heaven's wide open to receive you. Yeah, the earth cries for you to leave her, but heaven's wide open to receive you. That was Natalie's song. That was, yeah, that should have dedicated that to her. I do that every time I play it. Okay, this next one's called Lady. Lady, are you lonesome here as you're drifting through the night? Baby, I can hide your fears out of mind and out of sight. We'll fly away on the wings of whispering dreams. Lady, redirect your range, forget your troubles now. Come with me and dance in the rain, use the pain to show you how. You'll lose yourself in thoughts and good times past. I can see you're crying, but the tears I can't erase. Listen closely, lady, and smile to your face. Running on the days gone bad and the boys that made you sad. Driving down to hell and back and maybe to the moon. Exchange some thought as to where you're going now. See you're crying, and the tears I can't erase. Yeah, so closely, lady, and smile to your face. So you're falling down to my arms, to my hands. Dry on your tears, sweet lady, for me. Riding on a half of a tank on a Tuesday afternoon, hunting for the perfect love and the life you never had. Exchange some thought as to where you're going now. I can see you're crying, and the tears I can't erase. Yeah, listen closely, lady, and smile to your face. Falling down to my arms, to my head. conquer your fears, sweet lady. Bury your tears, sweet lady, for me. Well, Mama told me when I was young to sit beside me, my only son. You listen closely to what I say. If you do this, it'll help you some sunny day. Oh, yeah, we well, take your time. Don't live too fast. Troubles will come and they will pass. You'll find a woman and you'll find love. Don't forget now there is someone up above. It be a simple kind of man. Be something you love and understand. Baby, be a simple man. Won't you do this for me, son, if you can? Oh, if you can. Forget your lust, rich man's gold. All that you need now is in your soul. You can do this, oh baby, if you try. All that I want for you, my son, is to be satisfied and be a simple kind of man. Be something you love and understand. Baby, be a simple man. Yeah. Won't you do this for me, son, if you can? Well, don't you worry, you'll find yourself. Follow your heart now, nothing else. You can do this for me, baby, if you try. All that I want for you, my son, is to be satisfied and be a simple kind of man. Be something you love and understand. Baby, be a simple man. Oh, won't you do this for me, if you can? know I've kind of performed twice tonight already, but I wanted to get up and actually sing something. So I'm just gonna play a cover, maybe two. So. Well, I saw fireworks from the freeway. Behind closed eyes, couldn't make me go away. But you were born on the 4th of July. Wait a minute, something on the surface and stings. Something on the surface, well, it kind of makes me nervous. You said that you deserve it. What kind of God would service you would carry this to your disease? You got some poison, I got some remedy. The remedy is an experience. You're dangerously liaison. I said the comedy is that serious. Strange enough, new play on words. Said the tragedies, how you gonna spend the rest of your nights? The light on, so shine a light on all your friends. Well, all amounts to nothing in the end. I worry my life away. Yeah, no, I won't worry my life away. Yeah. I heard two men talking on the radio, crossfire kind of reality show, uncovering the ways to plan the next big attack. They were counting down the ways to stab your brother, and they'll be right back after this unavoidable kiss. Made you fret that there should outlast this catastrophe. Dance with me, cause if you got some poison, well, baby, I'm your remedy. The remedy is the experience. Dangerous liaison. I said the comedy is that serious. Strange enough, new play on words. Said the comedy's how you gonna spend the rest of your nights with the light on, so shine a light on all your friends. It all amounts to nothing in the end. I worry my life away. Yeah, no, I won't worry my life away. And I won't worry my life away. And I won't worry my life away. Thank you. I'm just going to play one more cover real quick. This is actually a mixture of two songs. One by Gavin DeGraw and another one by Blackstreet. I don't know if anyone remembers them. I remember Blackstreet. There we go. So this is a mixture of two songs. Hope you like it. Shorty get down, good Lord. Babe's got moving all over town. Strictly bitches don't play around. Cover much ground, I came by the pound. Getting paid is a forte, each and every day. To play away, I can't get it out of my mind. Think about the girl all the time. East side to the west side, pushing that ride. It's no surprise. She got tricks in the stash, backing up the cash. Fast when it comes to the cash, yeah. I like the way you work it, no diggity. Like to bag it up. Like the way you work it, no diggity. Like to bag it up. I'm in love with the girl who loves me better. I fell for a woman just when I met her. Took a sweet time and I was bitter. Someone understands me, and she knows how to treat a fella right. Give me that feeling every night. Wants to make love when I won't fight. Someone understands me. I'm in love with the girl. I'm in love with the girl. I'm in love with. that they want to. Try to get you thinking they really care. Nothing like the warmth of the one who's putting the time. You know who's gonna be there. Back and forth when you know someone's crossed you. Let nobody put you down who you're with. Take the pain of taking your name, from the crutch to the cane, to the high wire. I'm in love with the girl who loves me live. I fell for the woman just when I met her. Took a sweet time and I was bitter. Someone understands me, and she knows how to treat a fellow right. Give me that feeling every night. Wants to make love when I wanna fight. Someone understands me. I'm in love with the girl. I'm in love with the girl. I'm in love with.
Thank you so much. So stay up here for a sec. We've heard you play tonight, but we haven't really got to know who you are. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, my name's Corey Thompson. I grew up here in Utah, Salt Lake City area.
Music. Why do you play? When did you start?
I grew up just like, you know, in the car, you're a little kid and you just like yelled at the radio. And I've always like had this deep passion for music. It didn't come out very much until I started getting into high school. When I was little, I beat on things all the time with like, you know, your fake drum set.
Like your sister or no?
Yeah,
Okay.
but
Don't do that.
I feel bad for that.
You should.
But then I picked up a guitar when I was like in 8th grade, and I was so determined to learn how to play it. I'd come home after school, and all my friends would be outside playing, and I'd be...
Football. Oh, no.
Maybe, I don't know. I was into extreme sports, so they were all out mountain biking and whatnot, but I would come home from school, and I would literally spend like 4 hours a day just like sitting there playing, because anybody that plays guitar knows how it is like trying to get through that period where you really suck.
Yeah.
You can't play anything.
Yeah.
And so you just like push yourself through that. But I was so determined because I had this passion for music. And now like music from then to now has just become something that I can connect deeply with people, and like with a large audience of people, it's a lot of fun to kind of feed on the emotion in the room.
Mm-hmm.
So
You got the crowd clapping, so nice job on that.
thank you.
So, you have your own music that you have written, or do you mostly do covers?
I mostly do covers. I've written a little bit, but I really just, I like what people have already written. I'm not super talented in the writing spectrum, but I really love taking an artist's song and like fitting my emotion to it and making it my own.
So what do you want to be known most for? Do you want to be known as a singer, or what are you trying to achieve?
Well, right now, like I'm a young entrepreneur slash musician, I guess you could say. I've performed more this year than I feel like I've ever performed. It's not really something I've been pursuing, but it's just kind of been happening.
You gonna audition for The Voice? Maybe? No?
I've never had the thought until now, but maybe since you brought it up, I don't know. I've never watched The Voice really, so
Oh, it's a good show.
maybe I'll have to watch it.
This is a good show though too, because we have all you
It sounds like
amazing
it.
talent.
I'll be honest, I had no idea what this was until like I showed up tonight. And actually both people I played with tonight, it was kind of on the spot, but it was a lot of fun, so thank you for having me.
And we didn't even know, so that was phenomenal. Thank
Yeah,
you.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Today is gonna be the day that I'm gonna throw it back to you. By now you should have somehow realized what you gotta do. I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do about you now. Backbeat, the word is on the street that the fire in the heart is out. By now you heard it all before, but you never really had a doubt. I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do about you now. And all the roads we have to walk are winding, and all the lights we have to shine are blinding. And there are things I like to say, I'd like to say to you, but I don't know how. I said maybe you're gonna be the one to save me. And after all, you're my wonderwall. You're my wonderwall.
I don't know about you guys, but tonight I've had a ball, actually, like a gum ball.
Can I have a gum ball?
They're really hard.
Okay, never mind. I'll pass.
You want one?
There we go. Jarbreaker.
So, I can't even talk and chew. It's really hard. So if you guys want to come down to Studio 5 Alive next Friday from 7 to 9, you might be able to sit in and play.
Jam. Come
And
on
jam.
down and
Come
eat
on
jawbreakers. I mean gumballs.
You can have one yourself. Oh, I think they just shattered. They're kind of old. Been there for a long time. I don't know what, Anyway, so we want to thank you all for coming out to Studio 5 Alive tonight. And I'm just chewing this gum, and it's really chewy. You like, do you need more? I think you need some more. I think we need to have an impromptu gumball chewing competition. Just because. Are you ready?
Oh yeah, I'm ready. Oh, I'm so ready.
Okay, what are we going to sing now? Are you really good?
Gumballs keep falling on my head. Oh, darn. Man, these are really hard. Like, now I can't get them out because...
Why don't you close the show, because I can't even.
All right, perfect. This is Sue Rowe with SR Studios. Come down, have fun. It's a jam session, and you'll have a blast.
You will. And you'll have a ball, too, a gum ball. Hey! Thank you.